You've just received that email, the one from your boss or a colleague that makes your heart sink and your blood boil. Your fingers fly to the keyboard, ready to fire off a reply that will set the record straight, fueled by immediate, unfiltered emotion. But you know deep down that this impulsive reaction will likely make everything worse, damaging relationships and clouding your judgment. What if you had a mental toolkit, a kind of psychological pause button that could transform that destructive knee-jerk impulse into a powerful, controlled response? That is the profound, practical promise of Stoicism. Not as an abstract, dusty philosophy, but as a robust operating system for your mind, designed for emotional resilience and clarity in the chaos of modern life. In this comprehensive breakdown, we are going to deconstruct the core Stoic framework for emotional mastery. We will break down exactly what is happening in your brain when you react versus when you respond, introducing the critical role of neuroscience. We will then introduce the 4 Stoic virtues that act as your infallible decision-making compass. Finally, we will equip you with 5 actionable mental exercises you can start using today to build genuine emotional armor. By the end of this video, you will understand the neuroscience-backed difference between a reaction driven by the primitive brain and a response guided by rational choice. You will learn how to use the dichotomy of control to instantly reduce anxiety by clarifying what truly belongs to you. And you will discover the simple daily practice that builds the mental muscle necessary for long-term resilience, transforming you from a passenger of your emotions into the pilot of your life. So let's start with the biology of impulse. What is actually happening inside your head when you feel that surge of anger, panic, or overwhelming frustration? This isn't a character flaw, it's a deep-seated biological wiring issue. The reaction is your limbic system, often called the emotional or reptilian brain, taking the wheel. Specifically, it's the amygdala, the brain's alarm center, initiating what psychologists call an amygdala hijack. It's a survival mechanism, fast, forceful, and designed to prioritize immediate defense over rational thought. It was crucial for dodging predators, but it is disastrous for replying to a work email. The response, however, is the prefrontal cortex, the CEO brain, asserting control. This is the part of your brain responsible for planning, complex decision-making, and regulating social behavior. The goal of Stoicism is not to eliminate the initial emotional trigger, that's impossible, but to train your CEO brain to intervene more quickly and effectively, creating a critical gap between stimulus and action. The Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius, a devoted Stoic, captured this precise moment of intervention perfectly when he wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it." That space between the external event and your subsequent action, that's where your power lies. That's the moment of choice. Stoicism provides the tools to widen that gap, giving the rational mind time to formulate a deliberate response instead of an automatic reaction. But once we engage the rational brain, what should it be focusing on? How to know what the right response is? This is where the Stoics provide a timeless, universal decision-making framework, the 4 cardinal virtues. These virtues are not abstract ideals meant for monks or philosophers. They are practical filters you can apply to any moment of stress or decision. The first virtue is wisdom or prudence. This is the ability to see things clearly and distinguish between truth and falsehood, especially regarding what is good and what is bad. Most importantly, wisdom involves applying the most crucial Stoic tool, the dichotomy of control. Wisdom asks the fundamental question, what can I actually control here? A lack of wisdom leads us to waste energy trying to control external factors, other people's opinions, the weather, the past, which guarantees frustration and emotional turmoil. Wisdom redirects that energy inward, focusing solely on our own thoughts, judgments, and actions. It is the intelligence required to navigate life successfully. The second virtue is justice. For the Stoics, justice extends far beyond the legal system. It is about treating others with fairness, kindness, and recognizing our shared humanity, often referred to as the concept of cosmopolis or world citizenship. We are inherently social animals, and our actions must reflect this interconnectedness. When you are tempted to react angrily to a service worker, a family member, or a colleague, justice acts as the compass for your relationships, asking, how can I treat this person fairly, remembering that they too are struggling and imperfect. Justice mandates that we do not harm others through our impulsive reactions. The third virtue is courage, or fortitude. This isn't just bravery in battle. It is the courage to face internal difficulty, the fortitude to stand by your principles when it is unpopular, or the mental strength to admit when you are wrong. The filter here is, what is the right thing to do even if it is difficult, uncomfortable, or frightening? This includes the courage to endure discomfort, to persist in meaningful work despite setbacks, and to confront the uncomfortable truths about ourselves and the world. It is the bravery required to live virtuously in the face of fear. The fourth virtue is temperance, or moderation. This is self-control and discipline. Temperance acts as the guardrail against excess in all forms. It asks, am I being excessive in my response? Am I overindulging in my anger, my pleasure, my consumption, or my self-pity? Temperance ensures that our desires and emotions remain within rational bounds. When faced with temptation or provocation, temperance provides the inner strength to pause and choose a measured, balanced path. Before you speak or act, especially in a charged situation, you can run this quick mental checklist guided by the virtues. Is this action-wise, controlling only what I can? Is it just fair to others? Does it require courage? Am I avoiding a difficult truth? And is it temperate? Is it balanced and moderate? This transforms philosophy into an immediate, real-time tool for ethical and emotional decision-making. So we have our goal, a reasoned response, and our compass, the virtues. Now, let's get into the practical drills, the daily workouts for your responsive mind. How do you actually build this mental muscle so that the reaction becomes a response automatically? It comes down to consistent, deliberate practice. Here are 5 Stoic exercises, broken down into simple, actionable steps you can implement today. The first and most fundamental is the power of the pause. When you feel that emotional trigger, the heat rising in your chest, the tension in your shoulders, the impulse to shout, you stop. You take one single deliberate deep breath. This isn't just a cliche, it's a powerful physiological intervention. Deep breathing activates your vagus nerve and your parasympathetic nervous system, initiating a calming response that counters the amygdala hijack. That single breath creates the space, the crucial fraction of a second, for the rational mind to step in. Seneca advised, the best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury. But before you can choose that course, you must pause. The second exercise is the dichotomy of control, which we touched upon under the virtue of wisdom. The practice is to mentally categorize the elements of any stressful situation into 2 columns, things within my control and things outside my control. Is this my thought, my judgment, my effort? Or is it an external event, another person's behavior, or a past outcome I can't change? For example, you are preparing for a job interview. You control your preparation, your effort, and your attitude during the interview. You do not control the interviewer's mood, the competition, or whether they ultimately hire you. By focusing your energy, your effort, and your worry only on your sphere of control, you systematically drain the situation of its external anxiety. This exercise is the single greatest antidote to worry, as it forces you to relinquish attachment to inevitable outcomes. The third exercise is journaling and the evening review, also known as the practice of self-assessment. The Stoics, including Epictetus and Marcus Aurelius, were avid journalers. The practice is to ask yourself at the end of each day, where did I react impulsively today? Where did I respond thoughtfully? How could I have applied wisdom, courage, or justice more effectively in that specific moment? This is a process of objective self-assessment, not self-criticism. You are identifying errors in judgment and mentally rehearsing a better, more virtuous response for the next time the situation arises. This continuous feedback loop is what builds genuine mental discipline and accelerates emotional learning. The fourth is the view from above, or cosmic contemplation. The practice is to mentally zoom out from your immediate distress. See yourself in the room, then the building, then your city, the country, the planet, and the vastness of space. This isn't about minimizing your problems entirely, but about seeing them in their true context. When we are caught up in a reaction, the problem feels monolithic and all-consuming. The view from above shrinks the ego and reminds you of the brevity of your life and the insignificance of many daily annoyances in the grand scheme. This cognitive reframing often reveals that the catastrophic feeling associated with the event was a massive overreaction, allowing you to approach the issue with greater detachment and calm. The fifth and perhaps most counterintuitive exercise is negative visualization, or premeditatio malorum. The practice is to calmly and briefly contemplate the potential loss of something you value deeply, your job, a close relationship, your health, or even your life. The goal is absolutely not to dwell in fear or self-pity. Instead, it achieves two powerful things. First, it fosters profound appreciation for what you have right now while you have it. Second, it builds resilience by mentally rehearsing how you would handle true adversity. This is the opposite of anxiety. Anxiety is a paralyzing fear of an uncertain future, while negative visualization is a structured preparation for a certain one, because change, loss, and misfortune are inevitable parts of life. By practicing the loss of small things, you prepare your mind for the loss of big things, ensuring you can respond with dignity and virtue when fate inevitably strikes. By consistently practicing these 5 exercises, the pause, the dichotomy of control, the evening review, the view from above, and negative visualization, you're not just reading about Stoicism, you are installing its code directly into your daily mental operating system. And this leads us to our final, crucial point, addressing the biggest lie about this entire philosophy. If you think this sounds like becoming a cold, unfeeling robot, you have fallen for the most common and most damaging misunderstanding of Stoicism. The goal is not to have no emotions. That is biologically and psychologically impossible. The goal is to not be enslaved by them. The Stoic ideal is apatheia, a crucial term that does not mean apathy in the modern sense. It means freedom from irrational, destructive passions like blind rage, paralyzing fear, or excessive greed. It is the difference between having a strong feeling and being completely had or controlled by it. Stoicism is about management and rational regulation, not suppression. It is about cultivating a well-disposed emotional life where your impulses are rational, moderate, and constructive. When you master your emotional responses, you are not less human. You become more fully human, capable of experiencing joy, love, and compassion without the constant interference of destructive passions. It is a proactive philosophy for strength, clarity, and genuine emotional intelligence, not a passive one for detachment. To bring it all together, training your mind to respond rather than react is a lifelong practice that yields immediate rewards. It starts with recognizing the biological pull of your reactive limbic system and creating that critical space for choice. It is guided every step of the way by the 4 virtues of wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. And it is built through daily, deliberate exercises like the power of the pause and the rigorous application of the dichotomy of control. You are moving from being a passenger tossed about by the waves of external events and internal impulses to becoming the disciplined pilot of your own ship. It's not about controlling the world outside your skin, but about mastering your inner world, which, as the Stoics would remind us, is the only territory you ever truly can control. If you found this detailed breakdown helpful and you are serious about building practical mental resilience, make sure to subscribe to the channel for more guides on mastering complex ideas. I'd also love to hear from you in the comments. Which one of these 5 Stoic exercises, the pause, the dichotomy of control, the evening review, the view from above, or negative visualization, are you going to implement into your daily routine starting today? Let us know below.